Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are streaming or watching me from today, Friday, May the 1st. Welcome to Firm Foundation Friday. Firm Foundation Friday. I'm excited to be here with you today. And I am your host, Dr. Joan the Realtor. This is my first episode of this particular show, and I want you all to get all the nuggets of everything real estate related. So, welcome to Firm Foundation Friday. I'm going to be all over the place today because it's my first time doing this, but that's okay, right? I am Dr. Joan. I'm your realtor. I'm your friend. I'm your guide to building legacy through real estate. I'm all things real estate. Today's going to be a little different because it's the first day. I don't know what to expect of myself. I don't even know what to expect of anyone or anything. Let's just say I have absolutely no expectations today. Today is just going to be a day of fun. Today is just going to be a day that we talk about with you weekly. This is going to happen every Friday at 12 noon. So as you come on the stream, or if you're watching the replay, or if you're watching it at any time over the course of the next few weeks or months, listen, you can always connect with me and reach out to me, send me a message, right? This is our open kickoff concept, which means I'm inviting you into this space, not just to listen, but engage. I want you to engage with me. I want you to talk to me. I want you to share your concerns with me because that's what I am here for. This show was created for you. I bet you didn't know that this is the show that you need. I bet you didn't know that you needed this in your life at this time, right? But this was created for you, right? Here is what you can expect every Friday at noon. Here are the things that we are going to cover. We're going to cover buying your first home or buying your next home, right? We're going to cover selling and listing your home with strategy, right? A lot of people do for sale by owner. Hey, that's all well and good. But you need a person that's a professional that can help you navigate the real estate market, especially when it comes onto the contracts, right? And the market and what is the market offering, right? So selling and listing with strategy, you're gonna get real estate investing. How do you invest? What do you start? Where do you start? How do you start? We're gonna cover credit, education, and preparation. How do you prepare for your credit? What is the strategy? What are the steps? What are some things that you can do? We're going to talk about loan and down payment assistance programs. Do you know how many loan and down payment assistance programs are out there for you? But if you're not aware, you don't know. And you might be thinking, oh my God, I can't afford it. But yes, you can because of the assistance that's out there. And then we're going to talk about one of my favorite topic, the 6 Ds of downsizing and life transitions, because we're going to talk about, hey, listen, you might be in a home right now and you're an empty nester and all of your kids are gone, right? Downsizing is not a bad word, but I prefer to say right sizing. So it might be an opportunity for you to sell so you can right size, right? You can right size your home. And so we're going to have guest experts coming in and joining us. We're going to have lenders, we're going to have credit professionals, we're going to have investors, we're going to bring real insight into the space that you can use. This is not just a show about telling you, hey, you have to buy. This is a show educating you about the real estate market, right? I'm not selling anything, right? I'm not forcing anything. I want you to be educated, right? I'm going to be the person that is going to be your trusted real estate expert to help you when you get ready to make those decisions. And so I'm excited about this, right? One of the things I'm also introducing is going to be Friday neighborhood finds. So I'm going to be going out into the field, right? And I'm going to be finding all the new things that are going on in different neighborhoods so that you can get updated information about the new finds. We're here in the beautiful state of North Carolina, and I am in the Charlotte market. And I'm telling you, the things that are coming here is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And what I love about Charlotte is you get a city feel with a suburban living, right? So it's like a city suburban kind of flair. Why does my shoulder look so off, right? It's like the city suburban kind of flair. And so that's what you can expect. That's what Charlotte gives you. So we're going to be introducing Friday Neighborhood Finds, where we highlight what's new, what's coming, and what you need to know about our local communities. But here is what's going to make this show different from most of the other shows. And really, today is just the kickoff. So we're not going to get into a lot of details. We're just going to talk broadly about renting versus owning because that seems to be the thing that people kind of question the most, especially if you are a renter. But here's what makes a difference here. I want to hear from you, right? So instead of just watching this, I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me what you want to hear about. I want to know what bothers you, what's on your mind, what are your thoughts, what do you want to know about the space, the market? What do you want to know about now? Is it the good time to buy? Or is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Is it a mixed market? All the things, right? I want to hear from you. And what are your questions about real estate? You know, what has been holding you back? And what do you want clarity on? Those are the things that I want to hear from you. So I want you to drop it in the comments. I want you to send me a message. I want you to connect with me directly because I want to hear from you and I want to know what you're thinking about and how can I assist you? How can I help you, right? How can I make a difference for you? Because I want this space to not just be about information, but I want this space to be about making sure that you are equipped to make the right move for your life, right? We go through life and we go through seasons, right? Even in nature, there is season. There's the spring, there is the summer, there's the fall, and there's the winter. So we cannot stay in one place for the rest of our lives. We cannot stay in one place forever, right? So, what season are you in right now? And how can I help you get to the next season? Right? So we want to make sure that you're equipped to make the right move for your life. And so as I bring my guests on, as I bring other realtors on, as I bring on partners, right? The goal is to educate you. The goal is for you not to have any questions about the real estate market. The goal is not to force you to buy, not to force you to sell, not to force you to invest, but is to give you the knowledge that allows you to make the right decisions for yourself, right? I truly believe with all my heart that real estate is the Abraham anointing. And I was on a devotional call this morning with some real estate agents, and I said that I believe that real estate is the down. We are a part of Abraham's seed. All right. So we should own land as well. And not only that, I think it's a part of a wealth building strategy. Land, home ownership, business ownership, those are all part of books. Can't forget, I'm also a publisher, right? So that's all a wealth building strategy. So, right now, I want to change the conversation a little bit today. And I want to get over into this rent versus ownership type of conversation, right? Next week, we'll bring on a guest. We'll have a totally different topic to talk to you about. But today, I want to just broadly, briefly cover the rent versus ownership conversation, right? So, what's the real difference? What is the real difference? What is it? Well, let's just start with point number one, payment versus investment, right? I want to start with that. And so when you're renting, you're paying for a place to live. We all know that. Most of us, that's how we start. When we, leave our parents' house or leave wherever we are, we rent because that's the easiest thing to do, right? We're paying for a place to live. A lot of us have done that, right? Still do it till this day, right? Now, what's the difference with owning? Owning is building equity over time. So if I'm renting a space to live, that's what I'm doing. I'm paying someone else to pay for the building they own while I pay them to live there. When you own your place, then you're building equity over time. It's building value, right? Over time. So when you look at them, the biggest difference is one is a payment versus one is an investment. When you're renting, you're paying. When you own, you're investing, right? And so one builds someone else's wealth and the other builds your wealth. That is the biggest difference between renting and owning. Now, let us look at control versus flexibility, right? When you are renting, you have limited control. You don't have a lot of control over what happens to where you're renting, right? Rent increases, you have no control over that, right? Restrictions, you have no control over that. You have no control over decisions a builder or building owner makes when he decides to sell the building. That's not in your control, right? But when you own your own place, you have control over your space, you have control over your upgrades, you have control over your stability, right? So renting offers flexibility for certain reasons, for certain purposes, for certain seasons, right? It is not wrong to rent. There's nothing wrong with that. It's about timing, it's about strategy, right? Sometimes renting means I'm relocating to a new area. I don't know the area. I don't want to buy in an area that's not ideal for me or my family or for my long term growth. So the best thing for me to do is rent. And then let me get acclimated to the place. Let me find out which area I want to live in before I make the decision to buy, right? And I really don't like the area. So renting offers that level of flexibility. So it's not wrong, but it's all about timing and strategy. At some point, you want to move forward to ownership, right? Number three, in terms of renting versus owning, there is a stability versus uncertainty that happens, right? Stability versus uncertainty that happens. So let's just talk about that for a moment. Rent can increase year after year, right? Because it's not your place. They can do whatever. Can mortgage do the same thing? Absolutely, right? But most often when we buy a home, right, we'll get a 30-year fixed, which means the mortgage ain't changing, right? The mortgage isn't changing. So the payments becomes more predictable, right? Rent increases year after year. I have a friend of mine that when she got a divorce, and when she moved into her rental place, her rent started like I don't know, almost $1,100. And then the following year, it went up. And then the following year, it went up. And then the following year, it went up. So she went from paying $1,100 to almost $1,700 over a period of 4 years because of the increase, right? The difference now on the owner's side is that because it's a 30-year fixed mortgage for most people, or a 15 or a 20 or a 25, the payments become more predictable. So you know what you're paying monthly, so you can always budget for that on a year over year basis. So ownership creates a level of financial consistency. Renting does not. right? Renting does not. Now, upfront cost versus long term gain. When you are renting, there's lower upfront costs because you're only more than likely paying the monthly rent. Most in the state of North Carolina, it's the most a rental property can ask for a down payment is 2 months' rent. So, yes, when you think about that, there is a lower upfront cost to rent. But on the flip side, right? The owning requires preparation. So it means that your credit has to be right, your savings, your planning. And when I say your credit has to be right, a lot of places will take 620 or 640 in credit to purchase a home. So that's why I'm saying that there is so much openness to owning a home. But if you don't know the facts, it's going to be hard for you to understand what you can or cannot do. So, yes, there's an upfront cost versus long term gain, right? However, in the long term gain of home ownership, there's equity, there is appreciation, the value for your home goes up, and there's tax savings. There's a lot of savings, right? That you get back from a tax advantage that benefits you, that rent does not, right? Number four, mindset shifts. Mindset shifts. So a renting mindset is a temporary mindset. You know, one day you're going to leave there. You know, you're not going to be there forever. So often when people rent, they might be there 2 or 3 years. They don't like the place. Then they're thinking to themselves, I got to move. I've got to move because maybe the place got a little small. The place is smaller, or the place is bigger, or you don't like your neighbors. You don't like the fact that people are living on top of you and the noise and all for whatever various reason, right? You know that renting is temporary, right? That's not your place. That's not where you're going to stay forever and ever. So, from a mindset set shift, you have to think about this is temporary. And because it is temporary, I need to shift my mindset to something a little bit more stable, a little bit more permanent, a little bit more legacy building, right? Because when you're an owner, your mindset shifts from temporary to long term thinking and legacy building. That's the difference, right? Because when you rent is temporary, you're gonna have to leave there. But when you own, we're talking about legacy. We're talking about long term. We're talking about investment. We're talking about equity, right? And so home ownership is not just a financial decision. Home ownership is a mindset decision. It's a wealth building decision, right? It's a legacy building decision. That's what home ownership is. It's not just financial, it's mindset, it's wealth, it's legacy, right? Did you know, and I'm going to pose this question to you, did you know that the net worth, what they have on a net worth basis for a renter is only $10,000? $10,000. You might say, that's a lot of money, Joan. That's a lot of money because that's the net worth. That's what I own. That's what I'm worth, right? I'm worth $10,000 as a renter. Now, if you flip that script, you know what is the net worth for a home owner? The net worth for a home owner is $400,000. I cannot forget the day I heard this in a real estate meeting. And when the facilitator, the speaker said the difference between the net worth of a renter and a homeowner is about $390,000, I almost fell out of my chair. Yeah, that's the major difference. So let's just think about it. There are times when we know that renting makes sense, right? Because we're either transitioning in a season, relocation, credit building, getting your finances right. Yeah, we know you got to do that when you're working on those things. Renting Makes sense. And the goal is not to rush. The goal is to be ready, right? So while you're renting, you're preparing for your next. Some people are renting because they have to. Again, some of the reasons that I talk about, but many are renting because they don't know that they have options. And this is what I want to talk to you about, right? This is why I created this program. You have options, and options will blow your mind because you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, my credit score is this, or I don't have the money, or I am a small business owner. There are options for all of it, right? And so that's what we're going to change in this space. In this space, I want to share with you what is possible for you, what is possible for your next move, what is possible for your wealth building decision, what is possible for your legacy building decisions, right? So, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I want to ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to ask you to share this with someone who needs some clarity. Let them know that we're here and we're creating a space for them, right? And if you are ready to explore your options, just book a coffee chat with me. Just come right in the chat and say, Joan, I want to talk to you, right? I want to know a little bit more. I want you to answer some questions for me and know that I am here for you to do just that. So, if today's conversation and if today's topic about what we're going to be cover on this channel spoke to you, then I want you to reach out to me. I want you to text me. I want you to message me. I want you to send me a note, right? Let's talk about your situation. Let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about your next move. I want to know, where are you now? What season are you in? Are you in the renting season, or are you in a relocation season, right? Are you in a job kind of situation where you got to get the job right, figure out your finances? Let me know what season you're in and book a chat with me, because I promise you I can help you come up with a strategy to get you ready for your next season. And even if the season is like, my house is too big and I really need to get a smaller house because I'm in a different season, I want to right size. Again, not using the word downsize because some people think it's a little. So maybe you want to right size your current space because all the children are gone. It might be a situation where you're a widow or a widower and you like, this home is big. I love it because all my memories are here. But it might be time for you to right size, right? And then have a little bit more so you can travel or do the things that you want to do, right? So, again, if this resonates with you, if this is something you want to understand a little bit more, get some nuggets, do some things, make some decisions, make some changes, again, subscribe to the channel, share this with someone who needs it, and just click on the notification bell so you know when I go live on Fridays at noon, right? Listen, I want to wrap this up, but I want to wrap it up by saying to you that Joan T. Randall, as a realtor, is all about you. It is my promise to you. It is your property and it's our partnership. Because real estate is not just a transaction, real estate is a transformation. Real estate is a life changing thing. Real estate makes things a little more closer to the goals that you have in life. So, listen, I will see you next Friday at 12 noon, same time, same place. The studio may change up a little bit because I might be in another place next week. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this program. I hope you enjoyed the show. And I look forward to being here again with you, just giving you my take on real estate. All right. My property, my promise, your property, our partnership. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.